Well, good evening. My name's Christine Whitlock, and I'm your host tonight for this free Zoom meeting for scriptwriters and filmmakers on Monday, October the 18th, 2021. So what we'll be doing is going around the Zoom, whoever came in, and introduce yourself and let us know where you're from and what you've been working on the last couple of weeks since we last saw you. So Anamia, you're on first.
Hello, I'm Anamia Frias, and I am in Daytona Beach, Florida. What I've been working on is a drama series pilot. I'm almost finished. I'm on like the last few pages. I've been working with a great friend that's helping me polish it better. Format it the way that it is correctly. I also, I just got, last night, I just got my my final edit on a video edit that I've been working on to submit to festivals, which I'm excited for. I just finished a PA job in Miami on Saturday. I drove 3 hours there and 3 hours to come back. I was gonna stay overnight and see Alex in the morning, but I have a son that has autism, so I'm the only parent here, so he really desperately calls me all the time, and I didn't want to break his heart, so I told Alex, listen, I can't see you, I'm sorry, but I will drive here again and I will see you, you know, because he came over here to see somebody in the meeting. He came to see me, so I'm not gonna do that to him. So I texted him and I let him know, but that went great. I met a lot of people. It was a Latinx project with Anaconda Pictures, but it was really good, and I met a lot of creatives that are doing great things. So yeah, that's what I've been working on.
Great, good. Doug Nelson.
Well, I can't see y'all right now. Can you all see me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can see you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, my computer is having sort of a temper tantrum. Anyway, what I've been working on the last couple of weeks, anybody out there familiar with a mixing program called vMix? I have been doing some stuff, live mixing for some bands and trying to learn vMix. And I've got 12 live cameras, and we've got 32 channels of audio in this thing. So that's kept me busy for the last couple of days.
Oh, good. So Pat, we'll hear about your adventures in California after everybody's introduced yourself, but what have you been up to otherwise?
Yeah, I'm in Kissimmee, Florida. While I was in California, I managed to figure out one of the plot lines that I needed for my sci-fi cop story. I have another one to get straight, and then I rearrange the middle so it works. I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things after being in California at the film festival. The business end, when I'm in business mode, I forget my writing, or I put aside the writing. When I'm in writing mode, I put aside the business mode, and it's hard for me to just back and forth, and I've never been able to find a balance for it. So I'm trying to get back into half and half.
Good. Julian.
Hey there, folks. Last time I'd mentioned that this company had asked me to write a one-page treatment and a couple sample pages for a horror anthology. I hadn't heard back from them in a while, but I did hear back from them, actually. Then found out that unbeknownst to me, I'd been in competition with 3 other writers. And so it came down to me and the other one, and even though they didn't tell me what age to make the characters, they didn't like that I'd made them 13, 14, 8th graders. And I was just like, well, I could have made him any damn age you wanted, folks, if you would have told me. They had so many notes on what I had to do, and I did, but So anyway, but they did say that they wanted to keep my number and call me for a future project. So I was like, okay. put that in the bank and see
follow up
what
in
that
a month or
happens there. And then
so.
I just basically put my energies back. What's that?
I said, call them in a month or so.
Yeah. They said it was for like their next project, so I imagine they'll be pretty busy with this horror anthology. But we'll see. I'll check back in with them. That's a good idea. But yeah, I just put my energy back into my sci-fi script and got some really good progress there. I'm on page 25, and I'm pretty much out of the first act. I sent it over to Gary for him to have a look. So he's going to tell me later what he thinks of it, but I'm pretty happy with how it's going so far. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work. I got a big index that I got to work out of, and it seems like I write a page of my script and I got to go update my index and add more stuff and flesh things out, but eventually I'll get there. So
Yes. Shadow.
Well, I've got a ton of stuff happening. I might have mentioned a couple weeks ago when we were on that I had seen this comedy horror called The Sugar Skull Girls. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. It was this like not really well, it's an independent production, but it was interesting to see what they did right and what they did wrong, and it had a lot of heart. And it was a kind of a young girl teen horror movie thing, comedy. It was pretty funny, and I got inspired to start writing one like that, a little more dark, more kind of like it's hard to say. But then I was on the set of Kenan a couple weeks ago as they shot the last part for their upcoming season, or for this season, for the last days, and I saw a young actress named Danny Lane, probably about 8 years old, and she was freaking amazing. And it reminded me of, I'll just tell you this story quick, it won't take too much time, but if everybody knows the Partridge Family here, remember back for the series from the 70s, I happened to be, don't ask me why, because I can't remember why, and I probably would, I punish myself for even doing it. I was watching Partridge Family episodes for some reason a while back, and on this one episode, nobody on that show except for Shirley MacLaine was a real, okay actor. But one episode, there was a scene, this door opened up and there was a mother and a daughter at the door, and the daughter just knocked everyone else off of the screen with her talent, what she did. It was amazing. She was so mature, and a little bit familiar. And I'm like, who the heck was that? So I waited and I watched the whole episode, which wasn't a good experience. And then I got to the credits, and it was Jodie Foster in one of her very first appearances, and she was amazing. Well, this girl, Danny Lane, has the same thing. She's so mature. There's other little girl on the set with her who's playing, as child actors do, playing at acting and having fun on set. But Danny was acting, and she was in character, and she was professional, and she wasn't screwing around. And she was doing like the most interesting stuff. So I'm like, well, that's very interesting. Don't look her up, by the way. Look her up on IMDb. If you look her up on Google or DuckDuckGo, there's happens to be a porn star named Danny Lane. and I made that mistake. I looked her up and it was very shocking. So don't, just look her up on IMDb. She's new. But I got inspired. I pulled out a script of mine called Night Crossings, which was going to be in production in 2008 and has a very significant role for half of the lead is split between a young woman, child, and an adult, we go back in time between them. And it was one of those situations where the producer disappeared like literally the day before we were shooting. We were cast, we had locations, we had permits, I had distribution lined up, everything, and it was all gone. So I put it away, but I've pulled it out, and I'm approaching Danny Lane's reps to see, we may update it a bit. So that's kind of new. I've got a lot of other things, but that's the most exciting thing, over the last 24 hours that's happened to me. So
Great.
there you go.
Good. Jeffrey Smith, welcome to our group, and introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Christine. I come from a background many years ago of studying English literature at the University of Toronto. And I got a scholarship to Edinburgh University, and I enjoyed studying there for a year. And then I went to law school, and I'm not practicing anymore, but I am in a legally related field. But I'm also a painter, and I started writing sort of early on in the pandemic. I started writing hard in June of 2020, and I had an idea that I've now completed, which is a pilot for a series, and it's about a family, and I think everyone can probably relate to this, trapped sort of 3 months into the pandemic, and it's a newlywed couple, sort of a second marriage for the guy and first marriage for the woman. And she's a jazz pianist from Brazil, and he's a restaurateur living in New Jersey. And he promised her a honeymoon, and sort of 3 months into the pandemic, she sort of puts his feet to the fire and says, "I don't care what you have to do. You owe me a honeymoon, and I got to get out of New Jersey." And that's what the pilot's all about. And it really examines mental health issues, particularly with the lady, and addiction, and deception, lust, greed, and illegal arms trading, and private jet flights to various locations in subsequent episodes. So I completed the pilot, and I've had a few of my trusted friends read it, and my wife as well, and she's been great in helping me with this, and so have my friends. And I just sort of started to explore to see where you go from here, and I landed on your Zoom this evening, Christine, and just want to say I'm very grateful for you allowing me to join.
Great, good. Nick.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so I'm actually in San Francisco Bay Area, California. I currently full-time work in tech, global web marketing, project management at high-tech companies. But on the side, I am working, doing script writing as much as I could. Currently, I'm working on my script, suspense script called Face of the Milk Carton, Lauren Williams, 1994. I created the outline, and I'm about 8 to 10 pages in it. I mean, I'm just gonna right now just consider it a short. So my goal is to do 20 pages by the Halloween, or early the first week of November. And see where it goes from there. I'm also simultaneously working a little bit on the initial script development for a holiday short film that I have an idea for. It's called Digital Family. It focuses on the digital world and how families used digital technology, especially like video chats and WhatsApp, Instagram video chats globally to celebrate holidays. I had the idea kind of ticked in during, last year, COVID, during holiday time. And so I, want to start it now. And since the pandemic is still going on, and it's still, although things are getting a lot better, it's still going to be with us on and off. So I do want to start it, and it will be a short 15 to 20 pages too. So yeah, I'm a pretty, festive person. I like to celebrate like holidays and Halloween. I think I tend to do better when in screenwriting when it's closer to a major festival that I like Halloween. So I'm gonna stick to writing like September to October, work on suspense, thrillers. I do like writing those during, holidays like Christmas, write something more comedy, holiday type. And Valentine's, I do like writing rom-coms too. So maybe writing something else during that time. So yeah, that's kind of, what I'm aiming for the next 1 or 2 years. And yeah, I mean, those two scripts, the thriller script, I want to again complete by the end of October, early November, and then start on my holiday script after that. But yeah, I'll just focus on those two by the and hopefully complete 20 pages of each by end of 2021. I think that's for me, that's a realistic goal outside of my full-time job. So yep, you know, so.
Good.
But I've been learning a lot from these meetings. I think I attended every one except the one is from since last year. So I'm really grateful, Christine, for you to organize and coordinate this. It's been really helpful to me. So
Good.
thank you.
Pauline.
Excuse me. Good evening, everybody. I actually wrote down the things I've been doing because I've done a lot since the last time we met. Oh, but let's see, for any new people here, my name is Pauline Williams, and I live in Central Illinois, where I'm a professor at a major university. And I am in my last year. I believe I'm going to retire at the end of this school year. And I'm transitioning into what I hope will be a career in screenwriting and producing. And so I've been working on, well, I've completed the script, the screenplay for a feature that I plan to produce next year. And I've also produced a short film this year. So recently, one of the people who used to regularly attend, Alex, everybody knows Alex, he said he won't be back for a while because he's so busy, but he invited me or recommended me to Get It Made X. And the whole purpose of this organization, and it's the acronym is GIMX, so I might say that, but the whole purpose is to give writers a place to connect, grow, and learn, and also provide a pathway to production. And so you have to produce, well, most writers are working on a shorter version of their script, a proof of concept. And so I wrote the first draft, which was really difficult to put everything from a 127-page script into 6 pages, you know, just the information that would grab the attention and pretty much, you know, create the tone or show the tone of the production and leave you with a cliffhanger so that you would want to watch more. So, and the process is that you write the first draft and exchange it with someone to do a peer review with. So I reviewed the person's script, he reviewed mine, and I got it back. And I think that's where I left off here, telling you about that. So I did the second draft, and at that point I submitted it to Film Freeway, which I got a free membership to because I'm a member of the GIMX. And so I submitted that, and I'm waiting for a review with the score on my proof of concept. And then also they hold weekly screenings, and I'm sorry, not screenings, but screenplay readings. And so members of the site can give their feedback on POCs. So I put my POC in the queue, and I've been attending every week. And Alex is the one, I guess, who runs it or arranged it, or I'm not really sure his role, but he is the main reader of all the action and all of that. So he assigns people roles, and he has assigned me acting roles 2 weeks. And I'm telling you, it's been a ton of fun. And I like to act just for fun. I'm not serious about acting at all. But after that, I went to my backstage profile, and I'm starting to update it. And I was thinking maybe I'll be called for some productions, and I can always learn about production when I'm on the set. So, and then also I submitted my, I did the first 10 pages. There's this competition on Film Freeway, or I submitted through Film Freeway. It's the 26th annual Fade In Awards. And as I said, it's the first 10 pages of your screenplay. And I don't recall offhand what the prizes are, but people in the industry will be reading it. And I think the grand prize, they fly you to the location, and you get VIP passes to go to some of the events with the people in the industry. Then there are monetary amounts also. Let's see. Oh, and another thing that I was going to do through GIMX is I heard about just one day before the deadline, I read that they have an upcoming pitch contest. And so I thought, well, I can work on this and turn in my pitch. But little did I know that it was just an elevator pitch that they wanted for 60 to 90 seconds. So I stayed up until about 3 a.m. on that Thursday before the deadline. And I did like a 20+ page PowerPoint. And when I recorded it, because you're supposed to submit a video, took 14 minutes. And then the next day I found out it was only supposed to be 60 seconds to 90 seconds. So I thought, oh, well, tried to get it down, but I couldn't. And I realized that's a skill in itself. And so I didn't submit it for that, but I thought, well, it's a good start for my pitch that I'm presenting to my investors. And I was actually quite pleased with what it looks like. And so, but I am going to attend that competition just to see what other people are doing and, to learn how to do this, because if you ask me about my feature, I would either, I would just go on and on and on. I don't know how to cut it down to the elevator pitch. So, and then finally, but I guess it's not really in the arts, but I was working on a manuscript, the final edit to a manuscript that I submitted, an academic manuscript in my profession today. So that's all I've been working on.
Good, busy.
Yeah, yes.
Mark.
Pauline, I feel quite inadequate given how much you've been doing. I'm ashamed. You shame me. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Yeah, so I honestly haven't been writing very much new stuff. I hate to force myself to write, so I haven't really been doing that, but I've been working with a manager on some rewrites of a horror that I did a while ago. That's did pretty well on the contest circuit, and so he's kind of walking me through what needs to happen to make it sellable. And it's really an interesting process, to have somebody who kind of knows what they're talking about, who's kind of, been through the mill a million times, walk you through, kind of pick through your screenplay and tell you, where it needs to improve. Or it's not like the feedback you get, from a contest is just so much more focused, so that's been a really interesting process. It's just little stuff too, it's some of it's stuff that you probably already know that you should, maybe it's a little weak, but you just haven't got around to changing it. So that's been kind of an interesting process for sure. So I'm looking forward to that. He feels pretty excited about the script, so that's good. And what else am I doing? I'm also in the Get It Made group, so that's been interesting. I passed on the video pitch, Pauline. I just couldn't figure it out. I just, no way. I have a hard enough time trying to get the proof of concept, put together. So, but that's been a great group to be part of. And of course, Alex is always great. And then, made a pretty good connection with a guy over at John Goldwyn Productions. So sending him a script here next week. We'll see how that goes. I think the bottom line is I've learned from, through the last 6 months or so is that, the production companies are always looking for excuses to say no. And that's kind of the way it is, it's just the way it is, and you have to be able to take away as many of those no's as you can. If you're going to go in there and sort of do the pitch. So that's why it takes so many rewrites, and so I'm looking forward to the experience. I don't know if I'll be successful enough, but it's been good, we'll see how it goes. And Pauline, I'll try to work harder.
There's no competition here.
Thank God.
Alexis Green, can you introduce yourself? Welcome.
Hi, I'm Alexis. I'm currently a background actress in New York City. And I also write on the side. And I started a short rom-com called Pandemic Boyfriend, which is about two people who are stuck in a pandemic, and one is really, she's horrible at relationships, and the guy who she's dating is like really good at relationships, but they find themselves need each other during pandemic. And I'm still in the work. I just finished the first draft, but I wanted to kind of say, like, there are good guys out there, because she has like experienced all these like horrible boyfriends, and I wanted to kind of say at the end that there are good guys out there, and it's based off of a relationship I was in. So
You'll have to make your elevator pitch a lot more
I've
succinct.
been working on that.
Yeah. I know it takes time because everybody has problems with that. Frank Jackson, what have you been up to?
So
My name is Frank. I'm from Kenya. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Good. So I'm from Kenya. I am a TV
glad
anchor.
to be in this
slash
group,
producer.
because I feel like it's more professional, and then I get these accountability.
Yeah, I think someone else is talking.
Okay, Frank, continue.
Right, sorry for that. My name is Frank. I am from Kenya. I'm a TV producer, TV anchor, and I'm trying to write as well. So it's something that I'm tasking myself to. And I wasn't in last week, though I catched up with the meeting. The reason is I was part of the casting for a play that a drama, documentary drama that has just premiered, and that is called I Am Samuel. I think it's showing right now in UK. So I was part of the casting, and I'm proud of that, I think. And yeah, I'm happy to be back. Good to see all of you. Alex is not in though.
Yeah, he's busy right now with his own project. He's filming a project.
Great. All right.
But we hope to see him in November.
November, wow. Okay.
Yeah, well, that'll be the next meeting in 2 weeks. Yeah. So for myself, for my small town mystery pilot. I had sent it to a Hallmark director producer, and he thought it was fun, but I needed to make the Bible more comedic. And when I sent it to another producer, she didn't find it compelling enough. Now, I didn't have any murder in it. It was just mysteries. So I contacted another Hallmark writer who is having his script filmed in Vancouver this week. And he graciously said that he would look at my script to see why it wasn't compelling. And he doesn't have experience with mysteries, but you know, I guess any feedback is great. And I haven't heard back from the Toronto production company that I sent my thriller script to. They were looking for writers for women-based thriller scripts. Now, I don't know if you in your past have ever read it's quite an old book. It's been updated by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And if you've read the book, and if you remember the one example that they gave where a mining company found all this gold and then the vein stopped and they kept digging and they couldn't find any more gold. So they sold all the equipment and they got out of business. So somebody else bought the equipment, brought in a specialist, found the vein a few feet away where they had stopped digging and pulled out millions of dollars. So the bottom line is, if you're having trouble, you go seek advice. So today I had a Zoom call with roadmap writers, and I asked them, you know, like I've got all these scripts that I've written, and you know, how do I get them sold? And he recommended a couple of their programs, and unless you get expertise, if you don't know how to move forward, you know, you're just standing in the same spot, you know, not moving forward. So I thought, well, I'm going to put out, it's not very much money, and see what happens, you know, get an industry expert to give me advice on my scripts and how to move forward. So I think, you know, that's what we have to do. And that's another reason why I started this group. It's been a year and a half this has been going on, because we all have different experiences and we're learning new things, because, you know, Pauline was just starting out when she came and joined, and she has learned a lot, and she has taken different courses and been involved with different groups that we have found out about, new groups, and told us about her experiences. And I think it was Atlanta you went, right, Pauline? Was it Atlanta? Yeah, so she told us, and this is how we're going to learn and move forward. We can't always do it from our own experiences. We have to learn from other people's experiences, but also to tap into experts who know what's going on in the industry. Okay, so before we get into other general questions, Pat's going to tell us what happened to her, because she must have learned quite a bit from her experience. Tell us all about it, Pat.
Okay, I had entered the script in the Shriekfest Film Festival in 2020. And unfortunately, COVID hit. So Denise decided we're shutting down and we're going to hold everything. And she held everything, and anything that was submitted in 2020 became the 2021 entries. And over the course of the judging, I wound up as a finalist with my script. And so I decided I'm going to California. To the,
And what is your script?
my script is called Vermin. It's a creature feature. A spill of radioactive fracking fluid mutates a colony of harmless moles into carnivorous eating machines that overrun the drill site. Very much like Tremors or Eight-Legged Freaks in that area. Not quite camp, but pretty close. So I was one of 20 finalists, and I made it out there. So Shriekfest is in its 21st year right now. It was started by Denise Gossett. She's an actress. She had starred in a horror movie early on in her career called Chain of Souls. And whatever reason, that sparked a desire to hold a film festival strictly for horror, sci-fi, and thriller scripts and films. She's highly regarded in the industry. Shriekfest is highly regarded. It's very small. I think we had maybe 300 people tops. It was held over a weekend. Thursday night was the opening night party. Then Friday was our first feature presentation. All day Saturday was shorts and another 2 features. Sunday was all shorts and the final 2 features, followed by the award ceremony that night. The Shriekfest people that I met there and saw there are a family. They come back year after year. They've made associations and production partnerships. I don't have a breakdown of any successes that were directly from the festival prior to this year, but this year's winner of the short feature, the short horror, Who Wants Dessert, was written and directed by Benita O'Zules Graham. She got a production deal from that short to film a feature.
Was that the script, from the script?
No, she had a short. She had a feature script in the works that she wants to work on next. Because of the short, and this short that she did has won awards all across the country. And
So it's a completed film.
Yes, it's a completed film. It's a 7-minute short. It's brilliant. It was absolutely stunning what she did with that 7 minutes. And there was an indie producer there who was familiar with the festival, and he gave her a production deal right there at the award ceremony. Let's see, what else? My association with Shriekfest, I began as a reader for Denise about 7-8 years ago. I figured it was a good way for me to learn what was out there and to impart wisdom, if I can call it that, on the feedback I was giving for the writers. Shriekfest is one of the festivals that does give feedback. Used to be free, now they charge for it. It's a grade system, 1 to 10 number grade on plot, characters, dialogue, overall, plus comments from the writer on plot, dialogue, catalog, what worked, what didn't work. There's also what she puts in, which I've never seen in any other thing, was a gut reaction to the script. I'm not big on slasher scripts, but I've read a couple that were just stunning. So I said, this is really great what you did, but for what it was worth, my reaction to the script itself. I try to be honest and helpful. I know not every judge in these contests is. Some are industry professionals. Usually those are for the bigger contests, like Nichols and Austin. Austin does also employ volunteer judges for the first rounds anyway. Not all feedback is helpful. I understand that. It depends on your judge. You try to be objective and helpful. Let's see, it was, all right, we had all those features and shorts. And by the end of the middle of Sunday, I was hard out because it can get intense. And there's also networking parties where you can meet people, talk to people. I met several writers, more than producers. The producers of the films that were there seem to have their own little clique, and I find it difficult to talk to people anyway. So I found it difficult to approach people, but I did talk to several of the writers, and 3 of them walked home with rewards, actually, later that night. I've also attended other festivals, Big Bear Lake International, which I don't believe is in existence any longer, and the Orlando Film Festival, which is coming up in 2 weeks, and the Screencraft at the Atlanta Film Festival. Although they were associated with Atlanta, but now they hold it separately. They had an issue with Atlanta and women's rights, so they moved to Chicago. Last year was virtual. These other film festivals also have seminars and classes, as well as the films. So there's other things to do. I was a little surprised at Shriekfest that other than the films or hanging around to talk to people, you had a lot of free time on your hands. But we made use of it. My daughter was with me. Let's see what else.
So there wasn't any workshops on writing or producing or editing, nothing?
No,
Wow.
no workshops at Shriekfest. It's strictly films and networking. Which for someone who's chatty, who likes people, who is outgoing like Alex, it's fantastic. He can work a room. I have trouble with it, but I still met some people, and hopefully, oh, and I also have the festival guide with everybody's name, so I can look them up and connect with them on LinkedIn or Facebook later. Yep.
Okay. So the awards for scripts, that was when, Sunday night?
Sunday night, they had the awards for the films, feature, shorts, director, actor, actress. There was 1 or 2 other involved with the production, and then for the script, they had TV pilot, shorts subject in sci-fi and in horror, and the features in thriller, horror, and sci-fi. And they get a great little bloody saw trophy. If you saw it, it would be unbelievable. It's like a ripsaw blade mounted. It's really nice trophy.
Any money
What
with
did
that
you-
too?
No money.
So what did you learn from all of this? You're talking about somebody who had produced a short and was given access to go on to some other production?
Yes, it's in the network.
That-
It's in the networking. You've got to work that room and make the connections.
Right.
Hopefully,
So what
I'll
I'm
be back.
saying is
Yeah.
that if you produce a good quality short,
Mhm.
that is your best access route to the professional film society, corporation, environment, world, whatever you want to call it. And I keep
Yeah.
harping on this all the time to young people who want to start out. I'm going to write a great blockbuster tent pole feature length. And I keep telling them, no, just keep it down to 15, 20 pages. Master that. And once you've mastered that, then you go on.
Yeah. And the shorts ran from 4 minutes to 20 minutes. They were all, the production values on all of them were absolutely amazing. Some of them cost a lot of money, but then again, some of these people like Benita have been in the business for quite a while, and they've built up relationships and are able to put the production together.
Great.
Yeah, not Shriekfest, but Screencraft also holds or held pitch sessions, competitions. But everything's different. Screencraft is the biggest one I've been to. They bring in industry people to do the workshops and whatnot. And it's amazing who you can meet at that one.
And where is that one held?
They had been in Atlanta. Oh, it was the voting rights business. They got upset, so they decided, you know what, we're moving. And so in 2019, they moved to Chicago and held it there. I couldn't go, that was a little too much for me. And 2020, they were supposed to go back to Chicago, but COVID, so they decided to go virtual instead. And that was an interesting experience. In some ways it was fun, but in other ways you don't have access to the people that you would like to have, meet in a corridor and say, hi, how are you? And blah, blah, blah. But they were a good reputation, Screencraft, I think. Yeah.
Good. Okay, Doug McDougall showed up late, so tell us what you've been up to.
Hey everyone, just a busy day today getting ready for my auditions coming up on Saturday for Cinderella If the Shoe Fits. So we've got roughly about 40 to 45 people we're going to be seeing between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. So it's going to be a busy day. Trying to get that down to probably about 28, 29 people involved in the show. So all the sides have been set out to everyone, their music selections. We're just now confirming the last minute that everyone's going to show for their allotted times. And then by Sunday, we have our callbacks. And by Sunday evening, we'll have our entire show cast, hopefully, which is really exciting to see something that I've actually written or put together and shared with you over the last few months finally come to fruition and have the words actually at a read-through. It'll be a week from Wednesday. We have our first read-through of the show, which is really exciting to look forward to.
So who else have you got to help with the auditions? It's you and somebody else?
Yes, I have a production assistant who I worked with last year and in previous shows, actually in theater. So she is my right-hand person. Her name's Lauren. She's up in Hillsburg, which is kind of, I'm going to say north of Oakville, north of Milton area, near Erin, for anyone that's local in Ontario. So we make a great team together where she stops talking, I kind of pick up the slack, and we have a great kind of pattern going between the two of us. So we're looking forward to meeting a whole slew of people, not only from the local area, but we have people from Los Angeles auditioning, people from Florida, someone from Alabama. So it's really cool. We put it on Backstage and Mandy, and we got a lot of great interest, and someone from Texas as well. So it's as well as all parts of Canada.
And when do you plan to have it available?
Yeah, so so at this point, it's going to be broadcast on Zoom in December, starting December 17th. So we have our rehearsals in October, and then some taping in November, editing process for about 2-3 weeks, and ready to go for December 17th. And it's going to be shown a number of times, matinees for the young ones and some evenings for the older folks over the Christmas season, which is typically when a pantomime is usually shown.
And you said tickets will be available, posted.
Yes, so I'll definitely communicate that to this group, and I also have a Facebook page which I started for the site as well, for the show, and the charity pages for Feeding America and the food banks here in Canada. So those pages will be up and going in the next few weeks as well.
Have you got a ballpark for what the fee will be?
Oh, we're suggesting $20 for donation, but it's whatever anyone wants to contribute.
And it'll just be a one-time viewing.
Yes. Yeah.
So it could be a family around the screen.
Yeah, and it's
For the
$20
20
for the family, which is a really good deal, you know, for 5-6 people in a family. And I'm trying to get the word out there this year, like for not just in the local area, but maybe further, if possible. Yeah.
Now, is it something that we can get gift certificates? So we can, like I'd like to get one for my nephew and his family.
Oh, okay.
So
So
think about that.
Yeah, I'll think about it, but we didn't have that before. It was just a donation. So, so long as you make a donation in their name, and you give me their contact information, they can register. There we go.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that would be a way of doing it. Thank you for your interest, Christine.
Yeah, no, I think that would be good. I, find out when the dates are and when my nephew is available, because he works different shifts, and so that the whole family can watch it, and that can be part of their Christmas present.
Yeah, it's about a 2-hour show. Last year's was 3 hours, so we're trying to condense it and get it down to about 2 hours with intermission, which I think is a manageable time. Yeah.
Good. Great.
Isn't it in French, or is it?
Yeah, so it actually takes place in France. So I've put a lot of French expressions and things in there. And there is some French language in it, but it's not totally in French. It's the characters might speak with a French accent, that kind of thing. And there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek play on words with things that are typically French fries, French dressing, like all that kind of stuff.
No, it sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll open it up for anybody else who wants to expand or say something new about what they're doing. Because next time we've got Vivian Lee talking about her nursing documentary. She's going to tell us about it. And also, since it's November 1st and we've missed Halloween, we'll have a Lost Souls night. So if you want to dress up a little bit, which I'm going to do, I'll continue what I'm wearing for Halloween to give out the candies to the kids. We have so much rain usually on Halloween night, and we don't get too many kids on our street, but it's nice to see them, and I'm starting to be able to walk better after my knee operation. So hopefully, if not this weekend, in the next week, I hope to do some decorating out in the front of the house. We've already bought 2 boxes of little chocolate bars to give out, and thankfully my husband and I have not opened the boxes. And the thing is, when you see something, you have to buy it. Like normally I like to buy a box of those little bags of chips to give out, the Lay's chips. Well, they were all gone the last 2 weeks. So you have to buy them the first week of October, otherwise they're gone. Okay, Shadow, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, since you opened it up, I'll just mention that tomorrow and the next 3 days, and then the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of the following week, I'm conducting a seminar on navigating production from development all the way through to distribution, sponsored by Women in Entertainment in LA. It's free. They're 2-hour seminars. Last time we did it, we tended to go over 2 hours. most of the times. I've got case studies as well as the whole process overview of production, basically from a production management standpoint, and how to control your production and get it done to screen, to distribution without meeting too many boogeymen. So I'll put the link in the chat. People can, if anybody's interested, as I said, it's free. It's not restricted to women, but it's go ahead if you feel like it. And
Now, will this be recorded so we could watch it at another time?
it is recorded, but I don't think they make it available to anybody who wasn't there. And I mean, they were a little sketchy on the details of that. I get recordings, but I'm not supposed to do them. But I will be doing expanded versions of these. I do seminars on production management and whatnot, but these ones are free. So, and it basically covers the same stuff. So I charge for them usually. And, but yeah, I don't think they're doing that necessarily. They want people to come and be there, but, maybe they will. I don't know. They didn't last month, August, September, we did it before. So.
Good. Doug, you were going to say something?
Not that I can think of. The only thing I might ask, maybe Shadow is aware of this thing. Do you know about vMix? Have you ever used that thing?
I know about it. I've never used it. Yeah, I've never used it. Isn't it you said it's an audio program, isn't it a video?
Well, it's a video. I've got 12 camera input, 3 PTZ cameras, and I'm doing a live switching for some musicians. And
I haven't done that. The only thing we've done is in terms of live switching was with Blackmagic's small production. I don't think we could do more than 3 cameras and OBS, OBS, and a few of those streaming platforms. But there's vMix. I think there's also Heavy M, if I'm not mistaken.
There are a couple of others out there that I'm not quite familiar with, but I'm trying to work my way around this one.
Yeah. Never used it. And to be honest, it's one of those things that I'm now just getting younger people who want to do that to do it, because I don't have time to figure out how to technical direct a brand new set of stuff anymore. I shouldn't say I don't have time. I don't have the interest. I'd rather just direct and produce and do my stuff. I'll do it when I have to, but I don't have to.
Yeah, that's pretty much me too.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that, I've got a group of, I think there's 10, 12 musicians, and these people they're really well qualified as musicians. They basically are a mid-1970s garage band bunch on Geritol. They were those old guys, so they know how to play their instruments. But getting them organized, is a real challenge.
Yeah. Sorry, can't give you any advice on that one.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So for my small town mystery pilot, it seems that I've been watching all the Hallmark and Lifetime mystery series, and they're all into murders. And like I said, my pilot and my proposal for the series doesn't have any violence in it. It's all small time type of mysteries, and it also has to do with small businesses in a small town, and new businesses keep coming in to the town, and then there's all different new problems that have to be solved. So I was just wondering that I have to do some research for the religious channels, because I think these are feel-good mysteries, that they have a positive note at the end of the movie, and I thought that I should check out, what about the religious channels in the States. I don't think we have very many in Canada that
I don't know that we have a specific religious channel. I know there are a couple that do the family-oriented, faith-based films, a lot like Lifetime and whatnot. You may have to go to the organizations that fund these, or the production houses that feature family and faith-based. I know there's several producers out there. I see them on Inktip all the time, and a couple on what's the other one? ISA. They're all looking for faith-based and family-oriented. Maybe try there and see if you can find somebody.
Yeah,
Are
Julian
these
just put
mysteries you're talking about, are these whodunits or whydunits?
Yeah.
whodunits.
Kind of like Murder, She Wrote, which was more of a whodunits kind of a thing, but or Columbo.
But like I said, without the murders, it's more also personal relationships and conflicts between people and small problems that happen and that sort of thing.
A little heavy.
But I didn't want any violence, in this as something different.
Have you checked out the older ones that come from England, the BBC? I know that a lot of them are murder mysteries, but there are a couple that just deal with regular mysteries. It's usually the charm of the leads. That's the hook, whether it's a Columbo or a Jessica Fletcher.
Right. Yeah, because I have a couple who are introduced in the first pilot and have an ongoing romance, and they both have a daughter each, which gets into other family matters that we can expand on.
The old Heart to Heart, that wasn't always a murder.
Yeah.
But it's based on the relationship between the Robert Wagner and Stephanie Powers.
Right. Shadow, you still got your hand up, or you?
Oh, no, I just have to take it down, I guess. Hold on. How do I take this down? Let's see. Lower hand. Oh, there you go.
Hey, Shadow, on your lecture there, what it says 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., but is that Eastern, Pacific?
That's
Which time?
Pacific in
Pacific.
LA. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I have to convert. Okay.
So do I, yeah. And I live here.
Okay, cool.
Has anybody taken any of the courses or any of the career consulting through Roadmap Writers?
I've done a couple with Roadmap. They're producers. Let's see. I did a month mentorship with 2 different people. Both gave excellent notes. Chris Deckard gave me the best notes, some really tough love on one of my scripts that had me thinking deeply about the project altogether. I did All right, the other month membership, I ran 2 scripts past, damn, I forget his name. The producer, and he liked them both, gave me good notes. That was done in a roundtable setting. He dealt with 4 people, so you each got about 20 minutes worth of direct feedback. And I had been in their pro writer, the top tier. Joey had read one of my scripts and he said, you can go straight to the top tier. And at that time, I had extra time to devote to it because that was an intense program. Practically every night there was another class or seminar or something. And I just got, I can't do this because you're asking too much. I don't have time for my own stuff. It was intensive. It's enlightening. The people there are fantastic in being helpful. Dorian and Brandon, I think, is still there. Joey is a hell of a cheerleader. But it can get expensive. And who knows? They've made quite a few connections, getting writers signed with producers or agents or managers.
Were you able to do any pitching to anybody?
I did a couple of pitches. With Joey there, it helped ease my anxiety for pitching. I just got a lot of, okay, that's pretty interesting, but not for us. And I do a lot of written pitches also, and I get the same, that's really cool. I like the concept, but it's not for us. I'd like to find the person that it is for, but that's another story.
Patricia, what do you define as good notes? You say you got a lot of good notes. So what are good notes to you that were useful to you?
For the one script Chris Deckard helped me with, he made me really look at the lead actor, the actress, her motivations, her conflicts, and I reread the script. I said, you know what? He's right. It's emotionless. It was supposed to be a tense thriller because she's locked in a house that she can't get out of.
Mm-hmm.
And it was bland, actually. There was not real tension there, so I had to up the tension level.
Okay. So things that you make you think or reassess what you wrote. Okay. Interesting.
That and he said the tone of the script changed from a thriller to an action to this to that, and it had to be one throughout, and that I had to work on too.
Right.
Now your Vermin script, have you got any ideas of where you'd like to send it to? You had mentioned it's kind of like Tremors, and can you contact those production companies?
I have a list started already for Tremors and a couple of other similar movies for the producers that were involved. I have to track them down on LinkedIn and see if I can connect.
And also on IMDb.
Yeah. Find them on IMDb and go to LinkedIn and see. Yeah, it's a lot of gumshoe work, tracking them down. That's the business end where you get involved in that. It's almost as bad as Facebook because you get involved and there's the whole day shot. Try and track down people. But it's something that I have to do.
Yeah, it's so much easier to write and edit than it is for the marketing. Yeah. The marketing is so hard to find the right person.
Yeah, with Joey, with Roadmap, he does deal with a lot of managers as well as agents, and thankfully the IATSE people have accepted a contract, so we don't have to worry about a strike.
And it was very interesting reading the bottom of the website about all the disclaimers. This is not this kind of company. You know, we can't guarantee you're going to sell anything or, you know, meet anything. This is a teaching place, you know,
Yeah.
workshop place. There's no guarantees at all.
No, it's like anything else in the business. No, they can present it. You present it like you do with a pitch. And it's up to the producer to decide whether he wants to read the script or not. Or whether they want to continue even with the relationship. It's been said before that the relationship is a big part of the equation. Do you guys get along? Do you accept notes? Can you take those notes and make something work? I've run into a few people that just get stone-faced when they're faced with a note. And it's just like, no, I can't, no, this is, and you're not going to get any work done that way. And it's the same with giving notes on scripts when I do the contests. I try to be as helpful as I can to get them to a place where someone will accept their script. There was one script I read for Austin, wasn't quite ready, but oh my God, did she have a great premise. And I wanted so bad to promote that script, but I didn't know that I could outside of Austin because I was just a reader. So I'm keeping it on the back burner in case I run into a producer that would be interested in that and say, hey, listen, here's this script, go look for it.
Now, you said, are you still signed up with Inktip?
I get their free newsletter.
Oh.
I have tried multiple times submitting pitches to Inktip. And I've even had scripts on the site. Nothing. Either it's my scripts are out of their budget range, or it's a question of this is not what we're looking for, which seems to be a standard send back when you get the rejection. Sorry, this is not quite what we're looking for. When I've had scripts on the site, I've gotten plenty of looks at the log lines because they come back and they'll come back day after day to see if anything new has popped up. I've gotten a handful of synopsis reads. So either I've got to up the game on the log lines and or synopsises, or just what fascinates me is not fascinating to the people that are out there looking.
Yeah, they've really increased their fee, their monthly fee for the newsletter. Well, in Canadian money, it's like over $50 a month.
Oof, ouch.
That's right.
That's expensive.
Yes. So I just stick with the free newsletter that you get, and it's usually the first two producer inquiries that you may apply to.
Yeah.
I got one job out of Inktip. I just got paid $100. It was a very tiny web series, a short writing assignment. That's the only thing I ever got from them. And my stuff must have been up there, 10, 15 years.
Wow. Yeah. Did anything ever happen with that was that the Chinese outfit that was looking for writers that you were submitting to?
Well, I had submitted my article and they rejected it outright. And I went back to them and I said, I think I can make, minor changes and you'll accept it. And they wouldn't even look at it.
Wow.
So I thought if that's her attitude, like, I don't want to waste my time because, it took enough time to write the article. And if they won't even, look at some changes because based on all their information, it should have been accepted with these minor changes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have to get back to my friend who had written a piece for them, what has happened with her, whether they accepted her story or did she have to go into rewrites or what happened. I haven't emailed her in at least a month. So, but I haven't seen them posting on LinkedIn about it since.
Well, maybe enough people had the same experience you had, and they pulled up stakes, or else they got what they wanted and just disappear into the woodwork.
Because they said they need like 30,000 stories or something like that, like a lot of stories, a lot of books that they were going to be printing. And then going into other languages, like they were going to start with English, and then whether they were going to be translating them into Spanish and other languages, you know, that's what it seemed like. That was something different.
Oh, well.
And on some of these other screenwriting staffing, a lot of people are looking for writing partners, and you know, that's difficult when you haven't met the person and you don't know, you know, anything about them, you know.
And they don't give you enough information on the little blurb that they send. And if you send an email, I've answered a couple of those, never got I did get one response back from screen staffing. It was an outfit in the Philippines.
Oh.
He had a script that he wanted to produce, and I read it, and it was okay. But some of the things that he wanted to do, it was sort of an action adventure, and had something to do with a biplane, of all things, having a dogfight with jets. And I wrote him back, said, some of the things are not going to work, especially a dogfight between a propeller biplane and jets. It's just not going to work. But never heard back from him. But then again, from the level of the script, I said, oh, not for me.
Now, Julian, you've gotten a lot of good feedback on your Poppycock script. So how are you going to move forward with it?
That's a good question. It kind of, I've gotten some good feedback. I've also gotten some negative feedback on it from completely struck out on every single contest, but people that do like it a lot. So, and I do know somebody that has talked about wanting to produce it one day, but they're still working on their career as well. So they're not quite in that position yet. You know, me, I'm always hitting up the social networks, and I'm with Get It Made X. And so, you know, working with who I can and all, and seeing how things go. Keep making cool friends with good taste and humor. That's all I can say. But yeah, it's tough because I think it's like anything. It's like, you know, and there's lots of people that get great contest results and still nothing happens. So it's really just about trying to find the right people. I think that if I can, I've had a really tough time cracking into the sort of network of Marx Brothers fans who are also successful in the business as well. I've tried queries with IMDb Pro, but it's hard to get them to read it or take a look at it and stuff. But I figure, you know, at some point I'm gonna run into the right person, make the right friends, and you know, but or my friend will take off and he'll be able to produce it. So yeah, it's about finding those passionate fans, right? Because, you know, there's lots of great scripts out there, but the stuff that gets made is what gets somebody excited. So I know that I can get people excited. Just about finding the right one.
So Shadow, with your directing and producing experience, how are you finding partners to get things made?
Well, and because I produce, so it's always finding money. It's never about, it's not never about, I'm never selling the script to anybody else. Although you have to sell the concept of the script. The fact is, nobody reads the script, which is one of the stupidest things on the planet in this industry. You get people that will invest millions of dollars and studios that will invest dozens of millions of dollars, and no producer on the set has read the stupid script. Not that it's a stupid script, but it's just crazy. So yeah, for me, it's mostly independent film stuff. And so it's independent investors that I meet. Some of them are in the film industry, some of them are not. And, it's a numbers game in terms of that. And really it comes down to this, which is a little bit different for a screenwriter than it is for a producer. When I'm selling a project, I have to be aware that I'm selling myself. I'm not selling the script because I know they're not going to read it anyway. And the fact of the matter is nobody else on the planet but me will be able to support and get behind my project. They just won't. They'll love it. They'll quote unquote love it. They'll put money into it, whatnot, but they won't. At the end of the day, it's an investment or it's something else. Nobody will support your project other than you. Nobody will ever understand it. Nobody will ever care about it. Nobody will ever want it to get it to screen more than you. In my case, more than me. So I recognized that early on, and also understood that in terms of selling a project, as opposed to a script, I'm selling myself. And I never once had anybody care about the budget, script, the breakdowns that had to be there until they decided they liked me. And once they decided they could trust me and I could do the project and pull it off, the rest of it was irrelevant. They just they hand you a check. Sometimes it works like that. Sometimes it takes months, but at some point they go, I'm buying into you. So as a producer, as a director, they're buying into me. And this is something that I have to emphasize to upcoming producers, because you're selling yourself. If you're behind a script, whether you wrote it or you found one you really love, nobody's going to buy into that other than you. They're going to buy into you as a producer and how they feel you can do it. And when that happens, it doesn't even matter. The question of whether it's going to be successful or they're going to get their money back or not is secondary, because they're buying into you. And they make that very plain. And so I don't know if that answers your question, but as I said, it's a numbers game. And it also depends on project to project, because I do almost exclusively female leads, and most of that is Black female leads, which is a tough sell. In 2021, let me tell you, it is darn near impossible to get money out of mainstream if you have a Black female lead. I'm serious. And it doesn't matter how marketable the show is, they just freaking hell won't do it. So I'm always looking for independent money. And that's just a fact, but it's a fact that I've lived with in my entire professional career, because I've always done Black film. And at one point I managed Black actresses and things like that. So it's a challenge that I have that other producers don't necessarily have, but it's just part of the game. One thing that occurs to me as I hear everybody talking all the time is, as writers, you need to understand, if you don't already, how competitive your environment is. There's a trillion writers or wannabe writers. And so, it's very, very easy to get frustrated because you're not getting what you think should be the response you're getting. But understand, there's not dozens or hundreds, there are thousands of people looking at those same people. So you're in an extremely competitive industry, and it is a numbers game, and it is about getting connected to the right person. It's not about necessarily, this is my opinion and my experience over the years. It's not about finding the right script to sell. It's about finding your niche and going through the numbers until you meet the people that like your scripts. Okay, that's my viewpoint, because you can't write other people's stuff. You know, if you write something well, stick with that and make it better. That's my viewpoint. I know people that, oh, I want in my inventory, I want a horror, I want a rom-com, I want a biopic, I want a history, you know, I want a sci-fi, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they probably only do one of those things well, but they want to have something to pitch because they think that's going to get them somewhere. But the fact is, probably they're better off developing the things they like to do and just working through the numbers of people and the contacts, and eventually they'll meet the right people. That's my opinion. And I just want to emphasize that, because it's not, on the one hand, it feels a little bit depressing. Yeah, there's so many people, but jeepers, if you can spell, you're already 50% ahead in the top half, you know, the top serious, right? If you can write dialogue without having the word look in front of every speech, that puts you in the top quartile, I swear, because that's the first thing I see when I see a script and every character says look, etc., look, etc. I just, like, my eyes rolled up. I know they haven't paid attention to their own dialogue. I'm not reading any further. And I know that you know, if the dialogue is good, everything else can be like, it'll work out. If the dialogue is good and tight, you know, that's good. And the last thing I'll leave, because you turn me on and I'll just keep talking. The last thing I'll say, though, is for myself, I do not give my scripts to other people to read. It's something I simply don't do. I don't workshop them. I don't give them to people for their opinions. I certainly don't have a reader look at it. I detest readers and the whole weird structure of readers in Hollywood. But what I do is as I'm developing a project, I narrow in on who I think I might like in the cast. And if I get to know that good actor who I know is a great actor, I give them the script. And they're gonna, you know, because I'm considering them for the lead role in this or this role, and I give them the script. And inevitably they get back to me and they tell me what they think about the character and the type and the whole scenario. And they have good actors have a very strong sense, obviously, of character, but they know if the character is playable or not. They know it because they're going to have to play it. And if they have a problem with it, they'll bring it up. If they have a problem with the dialogue, they'll bring it up. If they have something, and because that person is somebody who I'm considering collaborating with, it's very collegial, the back and forth that happens in that case. And so that's my process. I just don't give my scripts out, period, never, to anybody, because I'm a good writer and I frankly don't care what you think about it. I just don't. I'm going to produce it, or I'm going to sell it to people. And you know, I get producers who may come in with money, and the first thing they say after I've gone through 2 years of development, and without reading the script, they say, "Are you open to script changes?" And I'm like, "You haven't even read the script yet." So the answer to that right now is no. But, you know, read it and we'll talk. Well, they'll never read it because they don't. Do they have time? If I were going to put $10 into your show, I would have time to read the script. They're going to arrange $1 million or $5 million and they don't have time to read the script. Is this going to be a successful business relationship? Because I think you're a little bit incompetent, and that's just a fact. But that's the way things are. So I ranted there a little bit. I hope there was something useful in that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed your comments. I just want to say that.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really kind of enjoyed hearing you rant about what I would like to rant about, because I feel exactly the same in so many instances. I have half a dozen projects lined up right now. I'm not looking for new scripts. And as I look at the amount of writers out there, I always think of it more as the pollywog puddle, and they're just all withering up and dying on the vine, and they get mad because you're just not overwhelmed by their amateur script. So, and it really is basically an industry based on who you know. You build up these relationships over the years. You don't build them up in one afternoon on Facebook or something like that. It just takes time. Don't
The
be in
funny,
such a hurry.
the funny thing is that it is becoming, I mean, for various reasons, it became that an industry of who you know, and that's still there, but it's becoming something different. But that attitude remains among people, and they think that, and even people who are not gatekeepers to anybody but their own closet pretend they're a gatekeeper and think that, and they're convinced that they're relevant, but they're not. But they will play that to people who don't know what's going on or haven't done their research on who they're talking to. So it's a different game today, and it's going to be a different game in 5 years than it was. So
I have a lot of confidence in the independent market.
I do too. I think it's going to be, it has the opportunity to become very, very strong. And if it can get some direction, the independent filmmakers, there's so many voices, there's so many writers, and some of them are hacks, but there's also so many great ideas out there that you will not get in mainstream studios for a number of reasons, structural reasons,
there are a
historical
couple of good
reasons.
ones out there. I have to say there are.
So I'm excited about it. Yeah.
So Shadow, in your mind, what will make the quality of a good TV producer or movie producer?
It depends on what you mean. I mean, when you say a good TV producer, what do you mean by? I'll answer that. But what is you vision? Do you envision somebody who's working for NBC, or do you just envision somebody who gets a good show done? Because the answer is different, depending.
Right.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Yeah. Generally speaking, you're talking about TV series,
right?
Somebody with a good creative vision, and has a good, and who is able to walk the line between creative intelligence and managing people, I guess, if that makes sense to you, because you have to, there's so many moving parts in film and television and that sort of stuff. There's no one person who understands it all well. And so as a good producer, you have to be able to identify that talent. You have to be able to relate to them as the artist and the creative person that they are. You have to be able to manage them when they go astray, and you have to help them kind of integrate with the other people on the team. So it's all about managing that, and in television, it's a producer's realm. Okay. The director is not relevant necessarily to the vision of the show, especially on a series, because the directors, you may have 5 or 10 directors in 5 or 10 episodes.
Right.
So the producer has to be the guardian of the creative vision of the show, right? So they have to be able to maintain that and communicate that. They have to be an excellent communicator. They can't be a tyrant, in my viewpoint.
And this is cutting across also to movie production, right?
Yeah. I think it doesn't matter who it is, really. Although in film production, it's a director's game. So the producer has to, if you're not going to produce and direct, you have to step back a little bit and give them their reign. That's one reason you're getting them, is because they've got a good ability to bring that together. But
Now, Julian has a question.
Not so much, but I just wanted to present the other side of the coin there. Awesome giant ball, Shadow. More power to you. That's great. I wouldn't quite recommend that attitude for everybody else, though. For most people who aren't at least producers or people that have powers, more power to get things done. I mean, for the average writer, and especially since many of you are, some of you are new, but my very first screenplay, someone told me I was the best writer in Hollywood back in 1998. Okay. And I let that go to my head pretty well. And, I just kind of kept writing little things thinking I was just this great writer, and I was a good writer. But I feel like back in 2017, I really, I kind of dropped out of things for a long while, but I got back into things. And one thing that really invigorated me was the fact that I getting real coverage, getting feedback, getting trading reviews with people. I know that even some of the top people in Hollywood, they still get readers on each other's, they read each other's stuff. I mean, Christopher Nolan doesn't go on Coverfly. He gets, Paul Thomas Anderson or somebody to read his stuff. So I know that readers are an important part of the process for many writers. And I'd say if you're a hopeful writer, I would certainly hope that you would, if nothing, what I always say is the critique that you agree with is the one that you should pay the most attention to. Like, listen to what people have to say about it. And often people have reviewed my scripts and just been like, yeah, you didn't get it. Not gonna, but even there's often still something. But it's when I hear something and I'm like, oh, and I've often heard things that have opened up my eyes to things that could be improved in my script. I would say, I think that everything I'd ever written before, with all my lofty aspirations and stuff, has needed work. Once in many ways I didn't realize until I got another set of eyes on them. So personally, I know I carried around a little bit too much hubris for too much time, and I benefited a lot from it. So I just encourage anyone, again, this isn't really directed at Shadow. It's not a critique of Shadow. I'm, again, love it. Go for it, man. Have at it. But he's speaking from a position of confidence that I would suggest could be dangerous for some folks. See what others have to say, because at the end of the day, you're putting it up for an audience at some point. So, and they're not necessarily going to be film scholars or other writers, or maybe try to bounce it off somebody who's just an ordinary moviegoer or something. But people are going to watch it at some point if you're lucky, and they're going to have opinions about it. And there's nothing you can do about it either, and those opinions are valid. And of course, if it's raking in box office, and you can laugh at people that don't like your stuff, like Craig Mazin, he can laugh all day, although he did do Chernobyl for his critical acclaim. But, people crapped all over his movies, and he laughed his way to the bank with it. But at some point, we're always going to be putting ourselves in front of an audience. So I think it's valid practice for most folks to have that to bounce off of, have someone else to bounce off of. And again, if you think that they're full of it, or they don't see what you see and all that, then disregard it. I barely take half of anybody's critique very seriously. And but if I can get one improvement, something that makes me go, oh wow, that's actually, or sometimes I go, you're full of crap, but actually that gives me a good idea.
Can I just address that? Because I'm not saying that you shouldn't have people read your script. And when you talk about Christopher Nolan getting his script read by another person in the A-list, that's not script coverage. I would say definitely have people look at it who you trust and who you jibe with, and therefore you can be, and who know you. And if you're going to give your script to somebody and they're going to give you a note back or something, then don't, you asked for it. Don't be like, Just because you put it in black and white on a page doesn't mean it's the word of God. Trust me, it can be awful. So so understand it can, but what I rail against is getting script coverage from people who frickin' well have never sold a script in their life anyway, okay, and who can't write as well as you. All right. And those are the people that write script coverage in the studios. I'm not joking. Okay. I know for a fact because I had people I was mentoring who couldn't write their way out of a paper bag, and they got a job as a writing script coverage for a major studio. I wouldn't trust them. So
I'm sorry, but we've got to wind up now. It's time for us to go. So let's find out what everybody's going to be doing in the next 2 weeks. Anna Mia, if you want to let us know.
The next few weeks, I actually won entrance for the American Film Market on Instagram, which I'm really excited for. I attended last year and it was great. This year I'm going to come more prepared into it. So I'm going to be working on finishing my script. I'm also putting in my short in film festivals to see how that goes. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on in the next few weeks.
Great.
What's the Instagram film festival? What is it called?
It's called the American Film Market. It's not a film festival. It's a market. It's called the American Film Market. It's going to be from November 1st through 5th. You can attend. Anybody can attend it because it's going to be online. But it's a great thing to network with a lot of people. I'll put the link in the comments.
Chat. Yeah. Good. Okay, Doug Nelson.
Well, next week I'm going to still play around with unraveling this vMix thing, and I'm going to start shooting some video for a couple of singers. I'm going to do some production video for them. That's about all I'm going to do.
Good. Pat, you'll be working on your sci-fi?
Yeah, I'm back to my sci-fi script, trying to get that out, and I've got to keep on this marketing business, writing up a pitch letter or query letter and tracking people down, see if I can connect with them.
That's right. Julian.
Okay. I don't have a link ready yet, but I'll send it out to everyone as soon as it's available for the table read of my psychological horror drama, Death's Brother. Some of you have taken part in that before. If you've contacted me before, I've put your name in the email that will go out. That's my email there. So if you'd like, and perhaps Christine, hopefully you might distribute it as well if it's early enough. So I'm getting excited about that. Again, they're going to read the entire screenplay at 99 pages. So very excited about that. I'm going to upload that to YouTube, put it on my website and everything. But it's good stuff. I forgot to say that I stalled at the quarterfinal stage, 32 blood. I did not make the semifinals. So back onto the thing. But you know, hey, if you get quarterfinals,
like quiet.
Okay.
Huh? Oh.
No.
I'm just gonna say that if you make quarterfinals, put it on your Twitter profile, put it on your stage 32 profile, you get to brag about that. So if you make quarterfinals, you get to put that on there. So I'm gonna I put it on my Twitter profile and everywhere. And actually Script Revolution, they like stage 32, Coverfly like stage 32. So it kept Death's Brother in the top 10% of horror projects on Coverfly. So that was a nice thing. And then tomorrow, my wife has knee replacement surgery as well. So I was gonna say, how's yours been going, Christine?
Well, next to nothing pain now. I'm able to walk with a cane. I see the surgeon next Tuesday, and that's when the first day I'll be able to drive in 6 weeks. So
6 weeks. Okay, good deal. Yeah, so glad you made a good recovery, and I'll have to be helping her for the next 3 days getting.
Make sure she's got lots of pain pills for the first 2 weeks because it's unbelievably painful. I never thought it would be that bad.
Oh,
really bad. I've never had a baby, so maybe it's, birth for 2 weeks, giving birth for 2 weeks.
She said 3, so maybe she'll be ready. But yeah, I hope she's okay. So, but yeah, hopefully I get to see some of you folks at the table read on October 27th. Okay.
Shadow.
Julian, can you, where's the link to the October 22nd?
27th. Yeah, he'll send us.
Yeah. Nick, send me an email there at jmartinauthor242@gmail.com. I'll add you to my email.
Can you put it on the chat, your email? Oh,
yes,
you
put
it. Great.
right there.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
look forward
Is
to
it going to be just, is it every month you said, or?
No, it's just one
time. Yeah,
one time.
Yeah, they get done reading Alex's scripts and stuff, and so I'm next.
Okay, I'll see if I get time that day. And
awesome. I appreciate
Good.
it.
Cool.
Shadow.
Julian, did you say what time it was on the 27th? I missed it if you did.
I did not. I think it's somewhere around 7 or 6, somewhere around 6, 7 Central. I'll send that out.
Thank you.
I know.
Okay. So as I said, seminars, and we're opening up crowdfunding for the music production on the Eartha Kitt project over the next couple of weeks in both the United States and the UK. Putting some details together on that, and then pitching my Night Crossings project with, to the agent of Danny Lane. And if I can get her attached, then I've got people that may be interested to move forward with it. There we go.
Good. Jeffrey.
Just figuring out where I go next. I mean, I'm a newbie. I'm just starting out, and I took a page out of Shadow's book, and I sent my screenplay to a famous actor who is actually a friend of a friend, and he generously read it. And his wife is a famous Hollywood writer, a screenwriter, and he gave me comments back, and I changed them, and I sent them back to him, and he said he, quote, thoroughly enjoyed it. So that gave me enough joy and serotonin to keep going.
Good. Nick.
Hi everybody. Yeah, so I will be within the next 2 weeks. I'm excited about all these Halloween things going on, But in addition to that, I'll be working on my suspense thriller, Face of the Milk Carton, Laura Williams, 1984. So yeah, 10 pages in, hope to, do around 15 to 20 pages completed. Yeah, and I mean, based on, if I want to just close it out and make it a short, I'll have to decide that, or, it'll be something, I mean, I might just close it out and make it 20 pages, and then, go back to it maybe next year whenever I get time, and, keep building it out. Also maybe sending it out to, my friend Alexis, who's on the group, or, I've been in contact with Rosie as well, and she's been giving feedback on my last script. So maybe reach out to her, see if, she's also kind of on the same page in terms of writing shorts and like a few shorts. So yeah, reach out to her, see if I can get some feedback. And yeah, just doing the pre-script development for my holiday short film, just coming up with ideas and creating an outline, starting the outline for that, and I'll be starting that in November during the holiday season. In terms of like competitions and seeking out to producers and submissions, I don't think I'll be able to do that like that much this year. I want to, I will have 3 short scripts, around 15 to 20 pages done by the end of the year. So depending on how things go next year, that's where I'll probably be doing more of that, like post-script work. Yeah, so yeah, the three shorts that I'll be done with by the end of the year is the rom-com Luna Weds Muna, the suspense film, and the holiday film. So yeah, now I kind of got an idea of how much my writing capability is, within, a few months, how much I'm capable of. And in addition to my full-time job and my other extracurriculars and other things. So yeah, I got an idea of how much I can do. So yeah, and then I'll try to see if I can come to the read on the 27th and stuff. So yeah, looking forward to
Good.
that. But great, and
Good.
I'll be wearing a Halloween theme. So happy Halloween!
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know Christine likes it a lot. So yeah, it's nice to, everything is actually more open, more pumpkin patches. There's Halloween events.